Peace. This is Waz for Waz Words Media, back at y'all for another round. And fight fans, the YouTube boxing community has been buzzing and have been labeling Shakur Stevenson a duck because instead of fighting Moratala next, Shakur Stevenson opted to go with a lesser-known opponent for his next bout. So now, the question that I pose to you, does this make Shakur Stevenson a duck? And in my opinion, I would say, no, it does not make Shakur Stevenson a duck. A duck would be someone who has repeated behavior of the duck nature, right? It's just like alcohol. Let's say somebody tries alcohol for the first time. They tried alcohol one time. Does that make them an alcoholic? No. If somebody smokes marijuana one time or smokes a cigarette from one time, does that make them a smoker? No. It's a one-off. If they continue to do this, somebody took on that first drink, and now the next day they drink, and the day after, now they continue to drink, they develop that pattern, that's an alcoholic. Somebody that took that first cigarette, a couple hours later they reach in for the next one, that's a smoker. Shakur Stevenson, how quickly do we forget? Especially, I'm disappointed with a lot of these YouTube pages, because y'all was the same ones that was singing Shakur Stevenson's praises, that Lomachenko's ducking him, that all of these people are ducking him. But how quick you are to turn on him. How quick you are to turn on this young man who's just now entering his prime. Shakur Stevenson is the same Shakur Stevenson that won the WBC last year at the WBC convention, mandated Pitbull Cruz to fight Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson was excited. Yes, that same Pitbull Cruz that all of us, including myself, have been praising because of his performance, the way he looked against Rolly Romero. That Pitbull Cruz. Shakur Stevenson just last year, when he was mandated to fight Pitbull Cruz, Shakur Stevenson was excited. And he was ready for that fight. He didn't talk his way out of that one. He was like, Pitbull, let's go. Pitbull and his team were the ones that said they did not want to fight that Shakur Stevenson, and ultimately did not take that fight. Same thing goes with Vasily Lomachenko. Right after the Devin Haney-Lomachenko fight, when Lomachenko looked the best that he's looked in years against arguably one of the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. We're talking about a Lomachenko that didn't look bad in his last fight. He looked very good. And still well in his prime, he looked like. Shakur Stevenson challenged that version of Vasily Lomachenko. And Lomachenko told Shakur, because Shakur challenged him via Twitter. And Lomachenko responded, I have some unfinished business with Devin Haney. So Shakur said, fine. After that, Devin Haney goes on to move up in weight to take on Regis Prograis. So now Shakur Stevenson circles back. And he comes to Lomachenko back on Twitter. He's like, yo, now that fight's off the table, what's up with us? One-on-one. Vasily Lomachenko never responded. Completely avoided that question. Why? Because there was no more excuse. Devin Haney was off the table. This is the same Shakur Stevenson that was willing to take on Frank the Ghost Martin. But Frank the Ghost Martin pulled out of that fight against Shakur Stevenson. This is the same Shakur Stevenson that took on the dangerous, undefeated Edwin De Los Santos. Come on. Yes, the outcome of that fight it was lackluster, left much to be desired, but don't be a Monday morning quarterback and say, oh, but the fight was boring. He gave you a fight you wanted. Now, he didn't fight the way you wanted him to, but the build-up, the anticipation to fight night, the actual fight, him standing in front of an opponent that is very dangerous. And let's not take away the Edwin De Los Santos in all of this. De Los Santos wasn't exactly pressing the issue neither in that fight. So I say all this to say, look at these names, man. Some of the top names in all of boxing. Pitbull Cruz, Lomachenko, Edwin De Los Santos, Frank the Ghost Martin, even Tank Davis. He didn't run from that smoke. He has challenged all these top-notch fighters. George Kambosos. Kambosos said no. All of these top names in his division, even he went to the next division. He's like, all right, I'll take on Navarrete. Navarrete is a fighter that comes with that Mexican style. He comes forward, very awkward puncher, a la Maidana. He went and challenged Navarrete. Navarrete, that fight should be easy to make. They're both on top rank, both ESPN fighters. But Navarrete's corner, his team, which just so happens to be the same promotional company, they didn't want that fight. So what more does Shakur Stevenson need to do? Maratala? He rolls over him, steamrolls him. That's not even a fight. Shakur beats him easily. Come on, man. Y'all are quick to bash somebody, man. Okay, that's the fight you prefer to see. Fine. But don't act like Shakur wasn't out here trying to make these fights that you want to see happen. Fighting a guy like Navarrete that comes forward, presses the action, is a puncher that has knockouts. Come on, this is a Shakur Stevenson that chased Oscar Valdez, who was undefeated, a champion in 2 divisions. He had to force that fight. Come on, man, stop that. Knock that off, man. A lot of y'all same channels that used to defend him and was calling Lomachenko a duck because he wouldn't fight Shakur. Now because Shakur doesn't fight Maratala, now y'all calling him a duck? Come on, man. Knock that off, man. Y'all do anything for content. Y'all do anything to say to have people click. That's why I'm so glad that I'm driving to work right now. I have a career. Because I don't need to be doing nonsense like some of y'all, man. Trying to bash this young brother, man. Just for clicks. Just to have something to talk about. That brother's not a duck. He will fight anybody. He will take your Maratala fight that y'all begging him for, and he will embarrass Maratala. He's just waiting for his big break. Don't act like he ain't been out here for the past year calling out the Frank Martins, calling out the Devin Haney's. Even though Devin and him went to the table, they couldn't agree on a number. But he did go to the table with him. He went to the table, or he tried to call out Lomachenko. He tried to call out Frank the Ghost Martin. Try to call out Pitbull Cruz. He's trying to give you these big fights. These big fighters don't want to fight him. He gave you the Edwin De Los Santos fight, dangerous fight, who gave El Rayo Valenzuela his first loss. Could have easily given Shakur Stevenson his first loss if he connected. But in order to connect, you got to throw, and he didn't throw. In fact, at certain spots of the fight, Shakur was the one pressing the action. So that ain't all Shakur completely. So knock that off, man. A lot of these people, man, all they want to do is just talk. Talk. Go get a real job. Go get a career. Go back to school. Do something with your life. Instead of talking down about people the second that you get a chance to. I'm Wise for Wise Words Media. Peace.